Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
The flight from Sao Paulo had left me drained, but beneath the exhaustion was triumph. 6 days of ruthless negotiations, countless cups of bitter coffee, and I'd finally closed the deal that would open South America for our firm. It should have been the beginning of celebration, not devastation. As my parents' suburban house came into view, the sunset bathed Maple Drive in warm gold. I smiled faintly. Home always softened me, even when I didn't want it to. My suitcase thumped onto the driveway as I reached for the remote. The garage door lifted with its familiar mechanical groan, and then emptiness. The concrete yawned bare except for Dad's battered lawnmower. No gleaming black Mustang, no chrome reflecting the dusk. My breath snagged in my throat. No. The remote slipped from my hand and clattered against the cement. My pulse thundered. I rushed inside, heels striking the tiles like gunfire. They were waiting at the oak table. Mom with her arms folded, Dad staring down at his hands, and Jordan, lounging like a king on borrowed time. "Where's my car?" The words scraped from my throat. Mom's voice was soft, coaxing. "Sweetheart, please, don't overreact." "Don't overreact?" My laugh was jagged. "Tell me where it is." Jordan leaned back, arms crossed with fake confidence. "It's temporary, Stell. I needed startup capital. 34 grand. Once my business takes off, I'll pay it back." I froze. "You? What?" "We pawned it," Dad muttered, his voice rough. He still wouldn't look at me. "You forged my signature." My tone was ice. Jordan waved dismissively. "You've got a great job. You'll get another car. This is family helping family." "Family?" I shot back. "Family doesn't steal. Family doesn't commit fraud." Mom pressed her lips tight. "We've always supported both our children equally. Jordan deserves a chance." A bitter laugh escaped me. "Equally? You sold the one thing I worked 6 years for. The one thing Grandpa dreamed with me about. And you call that equal?" The silence crackled like a live wire. My phone buzzed. A bank alert confirming a lion had been placed against my Mustang. My stomach twisted. I lifted my chin, voice steady. "You have 30 days. Get my car back, or I press charges. Fraud, theft, against my own family." Mom gasped. Dad's shoulders sagged. Jordan's smirk faltered. I grabbed my suitcase and stormed out, the slam of the door rattling the family portraits on the wall. Perfect smiles that suddenly felt like lies. The first cracks appeared just a week later. It was nearly midnight when my phone buzzed. Jordan's name lit the screen. Against my better judgment, I answered. His voice was tight, strained. "Stell, listen. I just need a small bridge loan. A few thousand. Clients are late paying, accounts are frozen. You know how it is at the start." I leaned back in my chair, staring at the city lights through my apartment window. "Jordan, I told you, I'm not funding your gamble. You already stole from me. Don't ask again." His sigh was sharp, defensive. "It's not gambling, it's business. Everyone hits turbulence. Don't you want to see me succeed?" "What I want," I said slowly, "is my car back. You have 23 days left." Then I ended the call. By morning, the fallout was already visible. Emails pinged into my inbox. Industry contacts whispering that Jordan's intermediary company had defaulted on 2 trades. Rumors of bounced checks spread like wildfire. My chest tightened with a cruel, vindicated ache. That evening, I drove past his rented office. Through the glass walls, I saw him pacing, phone pressed to his ear, stacks of papers scattered across the floor. His polished confidence was gone, replaced by frantic gestures. A week later, Dad called me. His voice was heavy. "Your brother's accounts are frozen. He owes vendors and the pawn interest is climbing. Stella, can't you?" "No." My reply was iron. "He built this empire on fraud. Let him watch it crumble." I heard Mom sob in the background. For the first time, guilt pricked me, but it was swallowed by years of neglect and favoritism. As I hung up, I realized something chilling. They weren't just watching Jordan's empire collapse. They were watching their own lies unravel too. 2 weeks had passed since my ultimatum, and silence had settled over my family like a storm cloud. But curiosity and fury, drove me one gray afternoon to the pawn shop listed on the bank notice. I needed to see it with my own eyes. The bell over the door jingled as I stepped inside. The place smelled of dust and old regrets. Behind the counter, a man with tired eyes looked up. "You hear about the Mustang?" he asked before I'd even spoken. My stomach dropped. "Yes, black, 1968. Where is it?" He nodded toward the back lot. "Still here. Beautiful machine. Shame about the lion. Interests climbing fast. 34 grand won't cover it anymore." I followed him out, and there it was, my car, my dream. The polished black paint now dulled beneath a thin coat of grime, a bright orange sticker slapped across the windshield like a scarlet letter. I pressed my hand to the hood, swallowing hard. "Who brought it in?" I forced the words out. The man checked his ledger. Title signed by Estella Warren. He lifted a brow. "That you?" My fists clenched. That signature was forged. His lips thinned. "Then it's fraud. You could press charges, reclaim it legally." "I gave them 30 days, I whispered. When I returned home, I found Mom waiting in the kitchen, nervously wringing a dish towel. "You went to see it, didn't you?" she asked. "I did. My name's on that forgery." Her eyes filled, but her voice stayed brittle. "We just wanted to give Jordan a chance. You'll forgive us, Stella. You always do." I met her gaze coldly. "Not this time. If that car isn't back in my garage in 2 weeks, I'll let the police finish what I started." For the first time, Mom flinched, not at my words, but at the certainty in my voice. The deadline loomed like a guillotine, 7 days left, and suddenly my parents were scrambling. The same people who once dismissed my warnings now rushed to gather every cent. I came home one evening to find the living room transformed into a bizarre auction house. Mom's jewelry boxes lay open on the coffee table, pearls and gold chains scattered like spilled secrets. Dad held a pocket watch, grandfather's heirloom, his fingers trembling. "Don't," I said quietly. "That's the last piece of him we have." Dad's voice cracked. "We don't have a choice. The shop will take it." Across the room, Jordan shoved his laptop into a case, his jaw tight. "Fine. They can have this too. Not like I'll need it anymore." I raised a brow. "What happened to your empire, George? Thought you'd be rich by now." His eyes flashed with anger, but beneath it was defeat. "It collapsed, okay? Everything collapsed. Happy?" "No," I replied steady, "but I warned you." Aunt Madison arrived unexpectedly, her presence slicing through the tension. She set down an envelope with crisp bills. "Take it. Don't argue. Stella deserves her car back." Mom's eyes welled. "We can't let you. You already let it get this far." Aunt Madison snapped. "Be grateful someone in this family respects boundaries." I watched silently as the pile grew. Jewelry, heirlooms, Jordan's battered Chevrolet keys tossed onto the table like an afterthought. It was desperation laid bare. For once they weren't leaning on me. They were breaking themselves to clean the mess they had made. But as I glanced at the clock, a cruel truth struck me. The pawn interest was climbing faster than they could scrape. And time was running out. The day I rolled the Mustang back into my garage, the sunlight hit its polished hood like redemption itself. The papers were signed, the debt cleared. My family had scraped and sacrificed until the pawn ticket was finally mine. Mom hovered in the doorway, her voice tentative. We made it right, Stella." I closed the garage door with a firm click. "No, Mom. You patched a wound you created. That's not the same." George shifted uncomfortably, his hands shoved deep in his pockets. "Look, I screwed up. I thought I could build something big. I was wrong." "For once," I said, locking eyes with him, "you're right. But this is where it ends. No more loans. No more second chances. From now on, my car, my money, my life are mine." Dad exhaled heavily, shoulders slumped. "We understand." For the first time, I believed him. I slid into the driver's seat, the leather embracing me like an old friend. The engine roared to life, steady and unyielding. And that sound was freedom. Mine, not theirs. As I pulled out, I felt it deep in my bones. A line had been drawn. And this time, I would never let them cross it again.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.